Alright, so I'm going to be doing a review of Deadpool and Wolverine, World War III. So this was another book sent to me by my friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again. This was a book I was like, okay, it could be cool to read it. Chris was like, I'm going to make sure you get it. And I was like, cool, neat. So for those who don't know, this was basically a 3-issue book by Joe Kelly with artwork by Andy Kubert. And it came out suspiciously around the same time, like right before Deadpool and Wolverine, the movie came out. What? A comic banking on the success of 2 characters that are coming out in a Marvel movie? Boulder Dash, I say. That, that would never happen, right? But yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, World War III. It should be called Deadpool and Wolverine, Joe Kelly tries to be Tom King. Because that's what this book feels like. It feels like Joe Kelly is trying to write a Tom King book. Or maybe a parody of it, because I do know... It feels like a parody almost of a Tom King book, because I do know when Joe Kelly... Was it Kelly? I think it was Kelly, who was doing Deadpool and Spider-Man. He did a whole comic that was like a parody of Mr. Miracle. So, maybe that's the in-joke. I don't know. But yeah. So the story is... Honestly, I couldn't tell you. The title of World War III is a lie. There's no World War going on. There's really nothing that, this title is a lie, other than Deadpool and Wolverine are here. That's the only truth. So I'm going to try to explain it, because this comic feels really like it was haphazard. Like, this comic just feels like it was just it was like shoddily thrown together at the last minute, and this is what we really get at the end of the day. That's what it kind of fucking feels like, if I'm being honest. So the story is that Wolverine has been called in by an old friend to hunt down a mutant serial killer, but also encounters Wade. After they dispatch it, Deadpool leaves a secret line of breadcrumbs for Wolverine to follow to lead into a bigger conspiracy of this group who call themselves those who watch. To watch Wolverine and Wade basically fall to their basic instincts with this villain called Delta. I feel like the comic is, like I said, the comic just feels really haphazard, and it really does feel like there was, the only thought was, let's have Deadpool and Wolverine on, in a comic. Joe Kelly has a great he's one of the original writers for Deadpool back in the 90s, 2000s era of the comic. Joe Kelly has always got a great voice for Wade, and his Wolverine is really good. But I really think the thing that really carries it, and that's the thing they really wanted to have carry the comic, was basically the artwork. That's what it really felt like half the damn time was, the story is just a mobile for Andy Kubert to draw cool pictures. That's what it really feels like half the comic, because the villain Delta doesn't really have a plot that makes any sense. The villains themselves feel like nothing, in the plot really just feels like, oh, it's Wolverine, and he's trying to prove that Wolverine is nothing more than an animal. I'm like, cool, you're like every other sophisticated Wolverine villain. You're basically every Wolverine villain. Let me rephrase that. It does have some neat fight scenes. I think that the story itself, again, was just to promote Deadpool and Wolverine are getting a movie together. And also, why was it only 3 issues? It feels like there was meant to be more story here, other than, just a 3-issue story. Like, it just ends on a cliffhanger that may or may not ever get resolved. But who know? But honestly, who knows? The fight scenes are good. There isn't like Andy Kubert doing Wolverine. He's probably one of the best Wolverine artists that have ever existed, if not the best Wolverine artist. And it's always cool to see just Andy Kubert in general do artwork. I'd show you more, but there's some really graphic... Oh, there we go. There's a perfect image. It's things like that. Also, this comic does the cardinal sin of making you read like this. There are, several pages where I have to read the book sideways, or, I'm open up a nudie mag like this. I have to, wear it... I have to read the comic like this. That's not fun. That's annoying. At least for me. Yeah. all in all, it's kind of decent. Like I said, this comic felt more like, hey, we're getting a Deadpool and Wolverine movie, so, you know, chop chop, let's get a Deadpool and Wolverine comic out to help promote the movie. And that was really the only thought process that went behind this comic. Is Joe Kelly a great writer? Yeah, but like I said earlier, he does feel like he's copying Tom King, and what I mean by that is he does the whole thing of, like, waxing poetically about a character, or, you know, repeating a phrase every so often, whereas Tom King, it has meaning every time a character repeats a phrase. Here, it's like, it's almost like Wolverine, like he's having Logan and Wade parody that. Maybe that's on purpose, maybe not, maybe I'm just too reading into it, but yeah. All in all, it's a fun story. Like, the thing is, I feel like it should have had at least one more issue to make it just an even 4, and also maybe complete the storyline. But hey, Andy Kubert on doing Deadpool and Wolverine artwork, which feels like the real mobile for this, and not to mention, like, to help promote Deadpool and Wolverine the movie. This doesn't tie into the movie, by the way, I forgot to mention. But yeah, this comic just feels like thrown together. But it's still fun, and that's what really matters. So there you go, guys. That is my review for the comic. But you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read Deadpool and Wolverine World War III. I don't know why they called it that. Let me know in the comments below. Once again, Chris, thank you so much for the comic. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.